Hello everyone. I'm now going to talk you through beginning to end of how to plot a graph with error boxes and max and min lines on Logger Pro. So first off I need some data. Here is a piece of data from a practical I did where I tried to work out the kinetic energy of a cart by using a spring-loaded system. And the time it took to go through some gates was measured and its mass was measured, and so I'm going to plot mass against t squared, and that should give me a straight line. So here I have the quantities of the mass here. It has a resolution here, plus or minus 0.001 kilograms. Now, really, these data points should be 500 in order to match. And the way to adjust that is you can change the rounding of a number up here on Excel. And I'm going to make sure that is down to the same number of decimal places as the resolution. There we go. You'll notice here I have another quantity, which is the time squared, and here the absolute uncertainty on that to one significant figure. So this is what I want to plot on Logger Pro. So if I just take the mass, copy and paste, then the stuff on the Y column, copy and paste, and you'll see that it's plotted it, but it's way down here. So the first thing I can do is I can use the auto scale button to bring that up here. Now you can see that there's quite a bit of scatter off the line, that these 2 points are probably anomalies, but we'll try and figure that. We'll discuss that a little bit more in a minute. To make the data plot part of this graph bigger, what you can do is you can take this little box here and drag it, and so that means you can, there we go, increase the space for your data set points. And now I'm going to put the errors in. So we're going to need data, new manual column. I'm going to call it error on X. And what's the error on X? Well, the error on X is plus or minus 0.001 kilograms. There's almost no point in doing this because it's going to be too small to see. Put that all the way down. There we go. But I'm doing it as an example from start to finish, so that's why I'm doing it. We need the error on Y now, so we're going to data, new manual column. I'm going to call this one error on Y. Go to my data. This is my error on Y. Okay, good. So that's Excel dealt with. We can ignore that now. And that's the data we're dealing with. Okay, so the thing that we're going to do now is we're going to put the error bars on. If you right click the column, you get column options for dataset X. In the options, you can go error bar calculations, and we can use a column. So we're going to use error X. You can see that we can basically not see these error bars. They're here, but they're minuscule. Y is going to be a different story. We right click Y, we get column options for dataset Y. In the options, error bar calculations using column error on Y. There we go. You can see these error bars are much, much bigger. Right, now we're going to put a line of best fit on. We can move this data out of the way now. Squish it up a bit because we want this to be as big as we can see. There we are. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to start prettying this up a little bit. So what have I plotted on the y-axis? It's t squared. So what I can do is I can left click there. Actually, I'm going to column options. If you right click and go column options for dataset Y, I'm going to change the name of it here. So this is going to be t squared. So you can put t, and this little drop down menu will give you superscripts and Greek letters. So I'm going to go t squared, and its units are in seconds squared. Go OK. You'll see it's changed it up here and it's changed it here. We're going to do the same for this. So you can right click anywhere, you can go column options, dataset X. This was mass, so I'm going to give it M, and its units are kilograms, so this has changed to mass in kilograms. So that's prettied that up slightly. What we're going to do now is we're going to put the lines of best fit and the lines of worst fit on. Now, if your data doesn't have many anomalies, what you can do is you can just use the line of best fit button to calculate the line of best fit. So let's do that first. It's one of these buttons. I can't remember which one. That one, linear fit. There we go. There's the line of best fit. Actually, that looks pretty good. It's going through all of the error boxes, with the exception of that one, ignoring these two, which are clearly anomalies. Now, I'm actually going to adjust this slightly. Because of the presence of anomalies, this line of best fit has gone in and it's taken these two into account. And I don't want it to, so I'm going to right click that line and I'm going to go delete. And I'm going to stick in a manual line and adjust it myself. So the thing I want to do is analyze model linear fit, and then it's going to, I'm just going to go OK. Now it's going to put it miles and miles away. So if I go auto scale again, where is it? It's miles away. How annoying. Well, I'm going to have to change the intercept. So the intercept is currently at 1. So if I put the intercept at 0, the slope to 0.1, I'm going to have to fiddle about with this until I get it. So what's the slope? It's going up 0.1 every 2, so that is 0.05. There we go. So you might have to fiddle about with it a bit until it becomes clear. The other thing I could have done, if I go undo there, is just zoom out until I can see it, and you can see it's blinking miles away. So to get it to where you want it to go, if you don't want to just guess the numbers, is you right click it, go linear fit options, and then enable line drag. And that allows you to take these boxes and to drag them to where you want them to be. I'm going to get the gradient roughly right, and then pull the middle one to drag it down, and then go auto scale to bring it back. Now that's okay, but it's still missing the error box on this one, so I'm going to bring it up a little bit as it goes through that error box. There. I think that's about right. Now, that's going to be the best fit line, so I'm going to give this a name. So I'm going to call this linear fit options, and I'm going to give it an appearance. So I'm going to have the black one as yes. It's going to be black, and that's going to be our best fit line. So I'm going to put it, you can drag this box here, so that's out of the way. And we're going to do the same for the max and min lines. So we're going to go data, no it's not, it's analyze, model, linear, okay. Oh, let's put it on in a sensible place this time. But you've seen it's put it on basically on top of the other one, so let's neaten this off a bit. I knew this one was my best fit line because that's where I'd put it. So this one is going to be my maximum. I'm going to put my maximum over here and right click the box, linear fit options, appearance, and this one is going to be no, not text color. I want this to be blue. Right, there we go, that's better. So this one is going to be my maximum gradient line. So it needs to start as low as possible and to end as high as possible while still going through all of the error boxes. So currently it's not, it's missed here. So I'm going to drag this up a bit. Oops, I've dragged up the wrong one. I'm just going to move that out of the way, edit, undo. How annoying. to switch that one off, now I'm happy with it. I'm going to go back to the black one, right click, linear fit options, and disable line drag. There we are. Oh, that's why. I hadn't switched on the line drag for the blue one. Linear fit options, enable line drag. There we are. That's better. I'm now going to move about this one. That is now... It starts off as low as possible and goes as high as possible whilst going through all of the error boxes. I think that's it. Because any higher and it won't go through this one, any lower and it won't go through that one. So this is going to be my maximum gradient line. Same again for a minimum gradient line. Analyze, model, linear, OK. I'm just going to switch the line drag off on this one now. I'm happy with it. This one's going to be our minimum gradient line. So right click, linear fit options. Let's change its color. I want it to be red. I'm sorry for those of you who are red-blue colorblind. There we go. That's the red one. Ooh, it's the same color as the data points. No, not red. Let's have green. Doesn't stand out very well. That's the nice thing about this. You get to fiddle about with it and make it so as you like it. Teal. Yes, that's better. Okay, so going to do the same for that. Meant to do line drag while I was in here. Enable line drag. This one needs to have the minimum possible gradient, so it needs to start as high as possible and go as low as possible. So I think that's that one. Oh, interesting. So it looks like this. So I think I've done my max gradient line wrong, because that's lying basically on top of the green one. So now I've got the maximum minimum gradient lines in. I'm just going to switch that off. There we are. And I'm going to drag this about so it looks nice and in the middle. So that should be going. Yes, that's nice. It looks nicely in the middle, and it's going through all of the error boxes aside from the two anomalies which we're ignoring. Good. Okay, I like that. Linear fit options. I'm going to disable line drag. The nice thing about this is how easy it is to copy and paste the information. So first nice thing about it is that you can see the gradient and the intercept directly on these lines here. So we know that the best fit line has a slope of this, and it's in seconds squared per kilogram. It's already worked out the unit for me. The unit, of course, being, because the gradient is change in y over change in x, it's the unit for y divided by the unit for x. And the intercept, it's got its units properly. And if I want to take this data and stick it somewhere else, like in a Word document, whereas I'm going to calculate the uncertainty in my gradient or intercept, what I can do is I can right-click this box again, linear fit options, and then you can copy the quantity straight into somewhere else. So that's nice. The other thing I meant to show you is the graph. So right-click, graph options, uncertainty boxes. You'll notice that that's not done anything useful on this one, because it's not the uncertainty in the y is the x-axis is really small. But just for interest's sake, if I make that's a bit big. There, it's a bit better. So if I was to make those a bit better, a bit bigger, you'll be able to see these error boxes. And we usually have error boxes if we have uncertainties in the y and the x which are big enough to be sensible to be seen. So I'm just going to undo that. Oh, there's a limit to how many times I can undo. Fine, that's interesting to know. Copy. There we go, that's better. That's back to how it was. Now what you can do is you can copy this entire graph. So if you click on the graph itself and go copy, have a new Word document if you want, blank, and go paste, and there it is. What you'd obviously do is you would make sure your page is landscape, and you'd make this as nice and big as possible so people can see it. And then you'd do all the usual things, put captions and so on. So that's a nice easy way of getting that. I think that's all I needed to tell you. Okay, good.